Macabro verse of madness.
Greetings and salutations! It is I, DUI Macabro. Yes, indeed. If you saw one of my previous videos, I showcased a couple of stuff that I had done. Because I like doing my own props. I am a budget horror fan, and unfortunately, I cannot afford to buy your big expensive props. So I got a little innovative and started doing my own. And one of the projects that I've been holding out from actually being able to do is to make my Friday the 13th Jason mask collection. I showed a couple of masks that I had used before, and, well, decided to finally sit down and properly spruce this up. Now, this, if you remember that video, or if you didn't, I'll refresh you. This is the mask that I used last year for my Jason costume. I just put red electrical tape to make the chevrons, and I used it as is. But the plastic here is very, very, bendy, as opposed to the ones that I got this year, who are a proper color and a little bit more of a harder plastic. So since this one is a little bit more bendy, this is the one that I'm going to turn into the mask from my favorite Friday the 13th, which is part 4. I have the image here for reference. Now, in this one, he doesn't have the chevrons. He has the axe wound, he has part of the chevrons, but he doesn't have the cheek chevrons. But this is one that someone made, and he does have the chevrons here with the axe wound. And this is one of the ones that you could buy at the stores, and they do have the chevrons here, along with the axe wound. And here's one where he, again, has the chevrons, so I'm getting a lot of conflicting images here. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to use them. I'm going to make this one with the chevrons, because I like how the chevrons look. So yes, that's going to be my template. Now, as you can see in the images, it's not white. It's more of a yellowish color, as you can see here. So that's what I'm going to do with this particular mask. Oh, why did I turn it off? Because I am an idiot. There we go. So this is going to be my template to make my Friday the 13th the final chapter mask. So what I did here is that this mask, you can still see remnants of the paint. This was a all white bloodied mask. But what I did is that I just went ahead and with a little bit of sandpaper, you see, I went through the mask, took out the majority of the blood, and also by sanding it, I scruff it up, and it doesn't look so neat and glossy. And what I'm going to do is that I am also going to paint it up the proper color, and then damage it and what have you. But the main damage that we have to do is the axe wound that he got from part 3. So what I'm going to do is that I am going to take a little pen, and I am going to see, let's see, so it's from here, this is hole 1, hole 2 takes a hit. So this is hole 2. Like so. And then it goes through here, because you can, I don't know if you'll be able to know this here in the image. Oh, almost dropped my microphone. But here in the image, you can see that it goes through here. So this is hole 1, 2, and it chops up a piece of hole 2. And then this would be hole 3, so it chops up a piece of hole 3, which is why you have this hole here and that hole here. See, like so. And then this one like so. So here's hole 1, hole 2, and it has that hole there, and then hole 3 is there. So that's what I'm going to do. So here's hole 1, hole 2, and this goes through hole 2 like this. So I'm actually going to go a little bit more here. And then hole 3 is like the half of it. So I'm going to go through here. And it goes a little bit like so. So there you go. This will be what I'm going to cut up to make the axe wound. And yes, so I'm going to pause this. How I'm going to cut this, I'm going to see if I can cut it through with a pair of scissors. But if not, I have this little thing. It's a wood burning set. Now, when you cut plastic with hot metal, it's always preferable to do it in a ventilated area because plastic is very toxic. And burning it would be even worse. So I'm going to do that outside, so I won't show you the exact process. But yes, this will do very well to cut it, but I'll try with some scissors, see if I'm able to cut it with some scissors. But I will use this one for the more detailed damages that the mask would have. So yes, this is what I'm going to do, and I'll do that right now. Hello, back again. It turns out that I can cut this flimsy material with some scissors, so I avoided the risk of burning everything down with that wood cutter, which I would still have to do it outside. But yes, as you can see, the axe mark is done. Chopped up the third hole here and the part of the hole here that you can kind of see in the screenshot of the movie. The ring light allows me to do so. So yes, the axe wound is completed. Now again, I went through another bit of sandpapering this thing to get it nice and rough. The reason why you want to sandpaper a mask like this is to take away some of that glossy look, and also to help the paint stick better to your projects. I use acrylic paint, various boxes of acrylic paint, and I am going to see if I can mix a proper color that looks like this yellowish kind of tone that the mask has. I'm going to go with mostly yellow, and then I'm going to use this skin pink color as a test run. If I don't like it, then I'll just go ahead and mix it up with some white instead. But I want to give it a different look, so that's going to be the next part. I am going to paint this bad boy and see how it looks. Okay, so I mixed a little bit of yellow and quite a bit of this skin color, and I got this color, which the camera will not pick up. I actually had to add more and more of the skin color because it started looking too yellowish, too musterish. But with this one, adding a little bit more of the skin color, I think I like the way that it's looking now. Let me bring up the image again so you can see what it's supposed to look like. And you see it's a yellowish kind of color. It's not white, it's not yellow. It's somewhere in between, you see. So that's what I'm gonna go with this here. So what we're going to do is that we're just going to go over it with our color, and I do think that will work. Again, I just want the base color on the mask, because I will grime it up. I will paint it up with a little bit of whitewashing with black, and go over it with a little bit of brown maybe, so that it looks nice and grimy. And usually I would recommend you spray paint the mask, because you do get a more consistent, well, if you're good at spray painting. I unfortunately am not, but if you're good at spray painting, you can get a nice even coat. When you use paint, you might have to go over it once or twice. So once you find the color that you like, definitely mix a lot so you can use it later. Or just, if you go to the store and you have in mind the color that you want to use, just buy a bottle so you don't have to mix and match the colors you want. But I am very happy with how this is actually looking. Because it used to be all white, and now it's looking quite good. And again, I apologize for my cracking voice. Professor Macabro went through a really bad cold, and he infected all his multiverse variants. So, DUI Macabro, unfortunately, is also sounding pretty funky, which is not bueno. Not bueno at all. And I am really happy with how the color turned out. And again, this will still get another coat of paint once it's dry. And, yes, I will very much enjoy. Yes, I definitely am a big fan of the color that came out. It doesn't look completely yellow. It doesn't look brown skin tone. It's a nice combination. If I would have used white, if I would have mixed the yellow with the white to maybe get a pearlish color, it would have taken me too much of an effort to combine the white, because the white would have completely been lost by the yellow, and I would have ended up with a too much of a mustard color. This one, again, I don't know how well it will pick up on camera, but it does look the appropriate color to my eyes. Maybe I do need glasses, but it does look the appropriate color to me. And again, I'll take a couple of pictures so that you can all see the process on the socials for the Professor Macabro socials, even though somehow, don't question how it works, the multiversal variants are able to post in that, even though Macabro Prime, Professor Macabro, has been lost in the multiverse for a couple of months since the whole stint with Heaven. The other reason why I like using acrylic paint is because it gives me a little bit of imperfections, which I like working with. Even though I am super obsessive compulsive with my work, and I'm always criticizing the stuff that I do, I do like the way, it's the Bob Ross school of making things, the happy little accidents. Some of these things will pick up the dry brushing a little better, in my opinion, if you use acrylic paint. Another tip that I could give you, but unfortunately I don't have any, would be to sand it and then use a primer. You can buy primers at Walmart, and that will also help you to give a better base to your painting project. It'll give you a nice solid base so that your paint sticks better. But again, if you can't get any primer, just use the sanding method. The sanding method I've seen from personal experience with my projects work really well. It's something that I actually saw someone do on YouTube. They were doing the project, and everything he did, he would sand the shit out of it and pick up on that. Also, my painting skills are nowhere near, and this is a shout out to my good friend Clowny Nerf, who had a birthday, and I hope he had an awesome time. His paint jobs are amazing. Puts anything I could do to shame, because he is a master at painting things. So he is just truly amazing, and I wish I had half the painting skill that he has. So yes, I really like how this color turned out. And it's also trial and error. You might end up painting it, and the colors might not come out the way you want, and you might have to start over again. Wash it, or whoa, don't drop it. Or have the dreaded finger poke of doom, and you scruff it up with your fingers. But again, the good thing about this is that you can let it dry, and then just go over it again to any places that need some paint. But again, I don't want to overpaint this thing. I am going to leave whatever imperfections are there, because again, I'm going to go over this with some dry brush and black and grime it up. So any bits of the mask that are not painted properly will work to my favor, because I'll still eventually have to sand it, because as you can see in the picture, the yellow color has been rubbed off, and you can see white under it. So yes, that is what I'll do. I'll also use that woodcutter outside, not inside. I want to burn down the movie room. And again, if you are like me and you're obsessive compulsive and want everything to look freaking perfect, just be patient. Things won't always... One thing I've constantly have to learn is that things don't go well the first time around. You have to work at it and work at it and work at it, and eventually it'll come out good, or at least good enough. But don't kill yourself. Don't beat yourself up over your projects. Do the best you can. Something that I struggle with. I desperately want everything to come out perfect and look great. But I'm not going to overstress so much with this one, because again,
this is the final chapter mask, and the mask in final chapter is supposed to look all beat up and messed up. So again, I don't know how good it's gonna come up in camera, but I'm super happy with the color that I got by mixing these paints. So I'm gonna let this dry. I'm gonna wash my hands and wash my instruments and let this baby dry so that I can go ahead and paint the chevrons. So yes, stay tuned for that.
Greetings and salutations. It is I, DUI Macabro, here, still suffering from the effects of whatever weird-ass bug I got, and my voice is shut to shit. But while I'm waiting for the part 4 mask to dry and start doing the other work, let's start doing part 3. My second favorite one. Well, I don't know, sometimes I flip-flop. Sometimes I really like part 3, sometimes I like part 6 the best. Depends on my mood, but 3 and 6 are usually flip-flopping between my favorite one. Part 4 is my all-time favorite one, but I still do enjoy part 3 and 6. And this is the one where Jason finally gets his famous hockey mask, and I can't do anything about the ring light. But yes, this just the basic hockey mask with the red chevrons, and that is what we shall do. Yes, indeed, this is going to be fun. But yes, as you can see, it's just the basic mask, a little grimy, and the chevrons. So, what I'm going to use with this one is this mask. This is the mask that I bought this year. It's made out of a much more solid plastic than the one I bought the year before. Still bloodied, but this one has a much darker color, not quite yellowish. I'm actually starting to debate whether or not I want to paint it the same tone of yellow than the one in part 4 that I'm making. I'm waiting for it to dry, but I'm going to see how this works as is, and then I'll finally decide. So, super easy. I am just going to make the chevrons. And in last year's mask, I already had chevrons made from red electrical tape. As you can see, I put them in this tape here. And what I'm going to do... Actually, should have given it a little bit more spacing. I am just going to transfer the tape to this masking tape and see if I'm able to get it straight. I'm just using the cutting tool from the woodcutter. See if I can cut it properly. If not, I'm going to have to use scissors. Another thing you could try doing, which is actually something I would recommend you do, is use a stencil. Transfer, which is actually something I think I might have to end up doing because this thing is not doing it. Yeah. I'm not getting the right thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to do a stencil. I'm going to get a piece of cardboard, and or maybe a solid piece of paper, and I'm going to transfer the chevrons into that, and then I'll have a means to just paint them on. So that's what I'm actually going to end up doing. So let me do that, and I will come back to you. That's the fun thing about DIY projects. You try something out, and if it doesn't work out, you can just do it again in a different way. And you learn and adapt, and that's how you learn. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer my chevrons into a cardboard stencil so that I can... Because I am going to eventually need it for the other 2 masks that I'm going to do, the part 3 and part 5. So stay tuned for that. Oh, and I'm back. So what I ended up doing is that I took the chevrons I did and put them in a cardboard base, as you can see here. And then once you have your cardboard stencils, you might be able to get a sturdier thing. I just did a cereal box cardboard. But if you want something more durable, you can do it on some backing cardboard or whatever sturdy material you can find. I went the budget route. Or you could also keep your little cutouts. So you could either do this, just take your stencils and put them here, and then just
pass with a crayon or a pencil the design that you're going to do, or if you want to put it like that, you can use that. And then what you want to do, if you're going to paint it, is that you want to put some tape. Now, I don't have that much blue painter's tape, but usually this is what I would recommend you do. Use blue painter's tape whenever you're doing painting projects. But I don't have that much. I have a bunch of masking tape, so that's what I'm going to use. And you want to put it around the area that you stenciled. This way, you get a two-sided effect. You protect your base color from getting painted the color that you don't want, and also you get straighter lines when you're stenciling your design. You might mess it up, and like I did here, the line is not as straight. So with the tape, you actually get more straighter lines. And if you see that it doesn't match up, you can change the direction of the tape until you get the desired effect. So once you have this done, you just have to paint it. So I'm going to paint this red, and then I'm going to repeat the process with my part 4. And I really liked the way that the part 4 mask came out. I am definitely tempted to paint this one too, to make it look like the proper color. So yes, still debating that. So I'm going to see how it looks just with the chevrons painted, and I'm also going to get to work on this one. So stay tuned for that.
Okay then, so I did my little stencils here.
So yes, all you have to do is just trace your stencils and put some tape, like I said, and I already did the same with the part 4 one. I would suggest the blue tape. It is better. It's painter's tape. It's better designed. But if you're in a pinch again, you can use masking tape, and it'll work the same way pretty much. And now what you want to do is that these are red. They're not supposed to be blood. They're red chevrons. So you're going to take your red acrylic paint, shake it up, because red acrylic paint is tends to separate, and you get an oily cover, and you don't want that. You want a nice even coat of red. And I have this bright red, and there's a different red colors that you can use, but I have this bright red that I'm going to use. And when you take your bright red and you just apply the red paint in your chevrons that you stenciled in, and if you want a nice even coverage, you just paint all over it. It's fine, because once you remove the tape, it'll separate the different layers that you did, so it'll look really cool. So this one, like I said, this one I'm just going to leave as is, but I really liked how the color came out in the one I'm going to do for part 4. I really liked how that actually turned out. So I am seriously debating whether to start over with this one and paint everything the same yellow color with the skin color that I did. So just apply your paint like so. Doesn't matter if you go out of the lines, because again, that's why you use the tape. And just also you're gonna want to let it dry, because that's the way it works. You gotta let it dry, and then if you don't like it, you have to go over at it again. So that's part 3, and now we're gonna take our part 4, and we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna paint our chevrons. Now the thing about part 4 is that the chevrons are a little more faded, and then something weird happens, because then they just disappear. I don't know what happened with the chevrons, that they just up and disappear. They bow out, and then they just they're like, later. And you don't see the chevrons in the big finale when Tommy Jarvis axes Jason. The chevrons are gone. So that's weird. You only see like half of the one at the top, but the side ones just bow out, and you don't see them. But like I said, I like the chevron design, so that's why I'm going with the one that does have. But I am going to paint half of the chevrons here on the top one, because that is something that's very noticeable. The half of the chevrons just aren't there, so I'm going to leave that without painting. And just put a lot of paint in it so you can take the excess off. And it doesn't matter if you go and paint the tape, but you do want to go over it so you can get a nice clean stroke. And avoid little patches. So you're going to let this dry, and then you'll go over it again to give it a double coat. And, oh, shit. And you don't want that to happen. Well, fine. I can pass it off as blood, or just repaint it again. So, yes, now you let that dry, and you'll have, hopefully, some very cool-looking chevrons. So stay tuned for the next part of this project and see how it goes. We have finished. I finished the Friday the 13th Part 3 mask. Like I said, all I did was put the chevrons there, and I must admit, I'm kind of happy, but after seeing the results of Part 3, I must admit, I like this one a lot better. Last thing I did is just painted the axe wound from the end of Part 3, gruffed up the mask with a screwdriver. Just gave it a couple of scratches here and there, and then just dry brushed it with some black acrylic paint. You just have a wet brush, put a little black in it, then get as much as you can out of the brush with a napkin, and then just hit certain areas here and there so you get the blotchy blackness. And then if you think you put too much, just grab your napkin and remove it. And there you go. You have a Friday the 13th Part 3 Jason mask, and I am very happy with how it turned out, I must admit. It looks pretty good. Now, there are two things here that you could do. You could give it a glossy finish and hit it with some sealer, maybe a little bit of Mod Podge, whatever you want. But don't go too crazy, because then you're going to have to weather it again. As it is, I think I will leave it as is. The only thing I will do is I will paint the chevrons. I'll give that maybe a hit of shininess to make it pop. But I am quite happy with the end result, and let me know what you think of this DUI Macabro project. I am really thinking I should go ahead and sand this, start over again, sand it, paint it the same color as this, and then just paint the chevrons. But as of now, because it's really getting late, I will leave it as is. So let me know what you think of this whole DUI project in the comments down below. And until then, keep on building.
Like, share, and subscribe.